Beirut. Walid Jumblatt, a former militia leader and one of the country's most iconic political veterans, strikes a pessimistic note when asked about the possibility of Lebanon being drawn into Israel's war with Hamas. "I don't think we can escape," the 74-year-old man said as he guided his lively 4-year-old dog, Tweggy, away from an assortment of nuts on a table piled high with books, including one about Thomas. He said Mann didn't have time to read. "I try read, but I keep going to the phone catch up on the news," she added. It's no wonder Jumblatt's phone keeps ringing. As leader of country's 300,000-strong Druze minority and a former commander in 19,751,990 civil war, he is consulted by everyone in Lebanon as an oracle on how country can avoid being engulfed by another conflict. After all, he is a man who knows how a minority can survive and even thrive when surrounded by enemies. However, he fears that this time the odds will be against Lebanon. The country is being closely watched as a potential second front in Israel's war against Hamas, amid intense fears that Hezbollah, the powerful Lebanese Shiite militia backed by Iran, will launch an all-out attack on Israel from the north. In a wide-ranging interview with POLITICO at his home in Beirut's Msaytbeh neighborhood, Jumblatt decried the lack of highly skilled global leadership and blamed the latest crisis on Washington for neglecting Palestine's desire for statehood and told America to stand down. Rear aircraft carriers widely seen as ready to attack targets in Lebanon. He argued that this was a crisis that only Israel, the United States and Iran had the power to resolve. Backing up his bleak forecast, Jumblatt said he and his eldest son, Taymour, were preparing to receive refugees in the Chouf Mountains, the ancestral home of Lebanese Druze, 40 kilometers from Beirut. He emphasized that if the country is dragged into war again, this shelter will be open to everyone who has to escape from conflicts, whether Shiite, Sunni or Christian. So far, between Hezbollah and Israel since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7 have been limited to tit-for-tat attacks on military targets and within what Lebanese politicians describe as informally established rules of the game. To reduce Israel and Hezbollah's miscalculations in the years since the 34-day war in 2006, Palestinians were abandoned. He said he was disappointed by the U.S. leader's comments in Tel Aviv and that it further abdicated America's role as an honest broker. He partly blamed American election policies, but also lamented absence of key leaders such as U.S. Secretary of State James Baker, former French President Jacques Chirac and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and said the international community was not interested in the dangers of what could happen in Lebanon. "There is no one. We are alone," he said, acknowledging that the Lebanese had become spectators in a disaster that could engulf them. With the Arabs rejected as